Hey everyone. So I thought I would catch everyone up with what's going on in my life, especially since like the wedding and the fires. 2025, let's be honest, has been a big bitch. And it's not just me. I think it's happening to everybody. But let's start with the good stuff. We have settled into our new house. You can see the kitchen behind me. Apparently, some of our furniture is coming next week. So that'll be exciting to start to have our own stuff. So we can start to feel settled. The thing is, it's still very weird and the feeling sneaks up on you. Like the other day, I went to get dressed. I'm like, oh, I need this belt. And I go into the drawer where my 5 new belts are. And suddenly I realize I don't have that anymore. And that happens quite a bit. And you're never prepared for when that feeling is going to strike. I keep losing my new gate opener in my car because of the color of it. And it's like, oh, my other one was white and this one's black and my interior of my car is black. So it's in the cup holder. And so every time I'm like, I start panicking that I can't find it. And it's weird little things like that for me, it like all of a sudden it just boom. And I've had to learn how to then not let myself go spiraling because there is nothing I can do. I'm very lucky that we have another home and I'm way focusing on that. So the house we got came with like dishes and all those things. And I haven't gotten, that's not true. I got some new dishes from QVC, super cute. They have little palm trees on them. I thought they were cheerful, but it came furnished or partially furnished. And one of the things the old owner left were dishes and forks and knives, all the cutlery, all that stuff. So every night when we sit down to dinner, I feel weird. I'm eating on someone else's stuff. And it's things like that that are still very unsettling. I also have had to be really a lot of this is about me having to learn how to be very disciplined so I don't spiral. I got into this really bad habit of going online at night and Googling like my mother's old china pattern and trying to find it and try to, can I replace or our silver? Or my parents for years had a little collection of malachite boxes. And I start looking for those things and it gets me really depressed. It gets me super down and I start going down these rabbit holes and I'm trying really hard to not do that at night. But since we're starting to get things for the new house, I'm like, oh, I want to replace this or I want to replace that. Or, oh, this will make me feel better because, I was looking at a malachite frame. I'm like, oh, maybe I'll start getting some frames. And first of all, you look at the price and you realize how much more expensive everything is now. And these are things that my parents collected over 30, 40 years. And I start to get really upset because it hits me that I won't be able to replace these things. And that has really come home to me. And that's been a very slow roll getting into it. But now I'm in it and I have to get myself out of it. Luckily, everything is forward for me. Got to move forward, 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 forward. So I go back to being disciplined. I now have to make sure I don't do that to myself at night. we decided to go on vacation, and it turned out to be the vacation from hell. 2025 just keeps rolling. Our second day of vacation, and this is a place my family's been going for, this was our 16th consecutive year, and it's a ranch, and you ride, and it's sporting clays, and you fly fish, and you do all these really fun things. We would always go for a week to 10 days, so I was really looking forward to going this year. And day 2, Steve falls off a horse. Really stupid accident. It was at the walk. I don't even want to call it an accident. And the horse tripped, which happens. They're not machines. And he got pitched forward and this was like at the walk, which was the craziest thing, and went ass over tea kettle and ended up fracturing his collarbone. So on day 2 of the vacation, he's now basically out for doing anything for almost 10 days. And we thought about going home, but we couldn't go home because we were having some construction done in our house, and it was upstairs in our hallway. So we planned everything so perfectly that they would be doing all the messy upstairs stuff while we were gone. Like, it was perfectly planned out. And that went to hell in a handbag. He's fine now. He's already started PT. But just like any man, fuck, he was so whiny. Like, I had to finally be like, enough. I mean, men, when they get a cold, it's not a cold, it's pneumonia. He fractured his collarbone, and I really thought we were going to have to, put him out of his misery like a broken leg on a horse. But I thought the better of that. But you keep going. Just when we were on a positive roll, 2025, you little minx fucking kicked me again. So, it's like 2025 is like being in a relationship where everything is going smoothly, and then all of a sudden, one day you happen to see a text pop up on your partner's phone from someone else, and you just look at it and go, here we go again. Here's something I'm incredibly grateful for. Cooper's doing great. Sure, he still struggles with the loss of everything, but he's doing great at work. He's happy. He's thriving. But I think one of the things that actually is good that came out of the fire, he's realizing to enjoy the moment where everything is actually good. And he was always decent at that, but it's an age thing. And we were talking the other day, and I'm like, appreciate this particular moment. And he's like, yeah, everything's good today, and be aware of that. And that's really been an incredible lesson for him, which I'm really, really proud of. One of the things we've been working on is we're in the process of making a documentary about my mom's life and career. And one of the things that's been a challenge is going through our archives and going through all these things and doing the interviews and working with the documentary team. When I'm so busy trying to move my life forward, I'm suddenly having to work in the past. And I thought I had it under control. And the other day, someone asked me to go look for something, and I finally said, I can't go through all these things again and be so focused on telling a story from the past while I'm trying to move forward. Now, that being said, it's going to be a great documentary. We have found amazing things. We have found home movies that I didn't even know existed that were buried in the back of our storage in a box. I mean, it's incredible. And looking at those things and photos of my great grandparents. And I mean, we found my dad's naturalization papers, which I knew were somewhere in there, but to be able to actually hold these things and realize everything isn't gone is wonderful. But then I'm spending days on end having to live in the past. So it's a very strange dynamic. But how lucky am I that these things survived the fire? And realizing that when I was really in the darkest place, I was wrong. We hadn't lost everything. One of the things for me was really that basically the entire existence of my father's family ever being around was gone. And it turns out they're not. Everyone kept saying, well, you have it and you have it in Cooper. But I got to tell you, finding these photos and finding these papers that I thought were all in storage at my house was such a blessing. And as much as I'm becoming weary from having to live in the past while I'm actively trying to move forward, let's just be honest, it's a mind fuck, but I'm so grateful to have found these things. And I mean, it's not been a bad summer overall. I mean, the hits keep coming, and every day you wake up, one of the things I'm kind of bummed about is this, I think, is the last real week, 2 weeks that I can wear my Lobster sweater because it gets retired for the summer because it looks stupid unless you're on Cape Cod past the summer. Of course, got to talk about coming into football season. The Eagles are the reigning champs. We know that I am a huge Eagles fan. Last year, I thought I was going to have a mental breakdown if the Eagles did not win the Super Bowl, like it was going to be the straw that finally snapped me. And you know what? I'm already having anxiety about this season because I need them to do well. I emotionally need this. So go Birds. I have the faith. I've got my jersey ready. The dogs have their jerseys ready, and we even found a jersey to fit Marty. So we're going to be fully eagled out. And I mean, the summer was definitely the summer of 2025. It's one for the books and not necessarily a great chapter, but I'm coming out okay. Coming out fine. It's the end of every summer is my mother's passing, September 4th. And we're just past that. So I've been giving a lot of thought. This year, my mom, this huge Lifetime exhibit opened at the National Comedy Center. And it's spectacular. Absolutely spectacular. And I was thinking about that. And again, it was one of those moments that I am being thrust back into the past while I am trying to go forward. And then right on the heels with my mom's anniversary, I started to think a lot about what she would be feeling through all this. And I think that both she and my father would be really proud of how resilient I've been, how honest I've been, and the fact that none of this broke me. And that I have found the ability, which was such a part of our family, to look forward. We always used to say this, I'm going to mess it up, but there's a famous Winston Churchill quote that we always said was our family motto. When you find yourself in hell, keep going. And I can honestly say I maybe didn't find myself in hell because I know things in life and the world could be so, I mean, when you put it in perspective, in context of the world, you want to say, oh my God, what happened to me was nothing. But in my world, it was a lot. And I have found myself, if not in hell, at least in purgatory. And I've kept going and thinking about my mom. the other day, I think she would be really proud. And I don't say that often. I'm the person who's like, oh my God, she would be so disappointed in me. Or, I live in that space, which I know isn't healthy. But I can honestly say from the bottom of my heart, I truly think she would be proud. She would be proud of Cooper. She would be proud of me. She would be so happy that I got married to someone who's so good to me and so understands me and doesn't try and change me. And that's so remarkable that in the midst of all this, I had someone else to lean on. And I haven't had that in a long time in my life. And I think Steve and I truly got each other through this and are continuing to get each other through this. And I think I know that's what I like to think. I know that she would be looking down and going, good job. You got this. You've been tested, and everything you were raised to do has paid off. That I'm such a survivor and that I keep getting through these unexpected traumas. I've talked about that the fires were the third time I've gone to bed with my life one way and woken up with it upside down. And that's a lot. But I was raised to be strong. I was raised to always move forward. And those lessons have paid off beyond anything I could have expected. And I think they'd be really proud. And that brings me great happiness. So, granted, it's only September and we're not out of 2025 yet, but I know I'm going to survive it.